CNN Business News has learned
series and specials that explore and investigate.
You can cure AIDS.
Sports coverage that goes beyond the scores.
Well, how dirty is it? What happens? Is it drugged?
Award-winning programs, both entertaining.
He's sitting there like he's in Rockaway in a beach chair.
And provocative.
Are you comparing?
CNN. It's not just news. It's real.
This is CNN, a network of Turner Broadcasting System.
Welcome to Larry King Live. Tonight, the trial of Oliver North. He once called him a national hero, but will President Reagan take the stand in his defense? And laughing all the way to the bank heist, it's Martin Short. Now, here's Larry King.
Good evening. The trial of Iran-Contra figure Oliver North opened today. It began with a halting search for jurors who had not been exposed to the most publicized scandal of the Reagan administration. North faces charges of lying to Congress, shredding evidence, and conspiring to commit tax fraud. Recently, two of the main charges were dropped: conspiracy to defraud the government and theft of government property. President Reagan has been subpoenaed to testify, and parts of his personal diary could be used as evidence. We will, in a little while, be meeting retired Major General Richard Secord, United States Air Force, who has been charged in a separate matter dealing with this same item, not at this trial. Our first guest, Senator Howell Heflin of Alabama. He was a member of the Senate Select Committee on Secret Military Assistance to Iran and the Nicaraguan opposition, became a major figure, well known on television throughout this country, sits on the Judiciary Committee, where we got a chance to see a lot of him there, and of course was a former judge. So one thing he can tell us right off the bat: how long is it going to take him to find a jury of people who have not seen Ollie North in front of a committee?
I don't think you can look back in history on any judicial proceeding beforehand to give you any idea as to how long, but I'm sure it's going to take a substantial period of time, because they're just now getting to the one issue just about whether or not they witnessed it on television, how much they know, and that sort of thing.
Of course, the agreement was that what he said on television, what he said in front of your committee, is not admissible, right?
Well, he has an immunity. He has use immunity, and that's, I'd say, what you just said is 99% correct. There may be some exceptions to it. But when he took the Fifth Amendment, then to compel him to testify, the decision had to be made as to whether immunity would be granted. It was granted, and that can't be used against him in this case.
But isn't it possible that I could have seen him and would not use it against him?
Well,
as a prospective juror.
Well, I mean, if you're a prospective juror, the judge had something I understood today saying that you may have seen it and you might not recall it, but going over it may refresh your recollection, and then you can reproduce certain ideas. The idea is to get an unprejudiced jury, unprejudiced for his protection and unprejudiced from the government's protection.
You also want a jury of peers, is that correct?
Well, that's the concept that we've had from the Anglo-Saxon days from England.
We haven't defined that very well, or have we?
Well, it used to be that a peer was an equal, and you had it going back into the English days. In the English trials, you usually selected someone of the same status. You know, England had various statuses. And
so if you're in status 3, your jury was composed of people in status 3.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, now, one could make a case, could one not, that if you didn't see any of this, you're not a very aware person.
Well, that is something that's in my mind is, you know, if you strike nobody that saw it on television, well, what are you going to end up with? I mean, you're going to end up with extremely busy people who never see television, and they probably are not interested in what goes on in the country. Or on the other hand, people that, well, there'd be some question as to whether they have adequate capacity to serve mentally as a juror.
The late and great defense lawyer Edward Bennett Williams told me once that he believed that you could go out in the street, just take the first 12 people you see, bring them in, you'll get a good jury and a fair verdict if you present both sides well.
Well, that's basically what they do in England. They have very few strikes in England. The jury selection is almost perfunctory. And so you only really challenge for cause. And so that system is somewhat used. And there are arguments that support Ed Williams' concept.
Now, what about the appearance of Mr. Reagan? As we understand it, what Ronald Reagan can appear, George Bush cannot, right?
Well, what the judges, I understand, has ruled thus far, and it really, I don't think, makes any difference as to the status of being a president or a former president. I think it, under the law, that a president can be called. He can put forth certain things like executive privilege. But we'll say that a president saw a murder happen, unrelated to government whatsoever. He is not immune from coming and testifying as a witness. So therefore, he can. Now, in the Bush matter, on the 12 remaining charges, the judge really said what you say that Bush can testify about is not really relevant to those 12 charges. Now, the 12 charges are what remain after the dismissal of the conspiracy and the...
That might apply to other witnesses as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
and it would apply to Reagan. It would apply to Reagan. But there is also the issue of whether or not it gets into the question of national security. And it gets into that Nixon issue of executive privilege.
Another thing that will happen in this trial is a name going to be mentioned a lot, William Casey. Yeah. And he ain't here.
Well, that to me is there's a chapter there that's completely missing, and I think it will be missing. The historians will really have a great task to construct that chapter and to say it. In my judgment, from a little bit I know, and not conclusively, but I think he was a major player. He may have been the architect behind all of it. Casey was a very unusual person. He mumbled. He was a great mumbler. And many people might have said, well, he may have said certain things to certain people, but he might have said it in a mumbling manner where there wasn't a clear understanding.
What does one do as a judge, though, when someone is mentioned frequently who is deceased in any kind of criminal trial?
Well,
the jury's going to have to make
He's just like an absent person or something else. I mean, if it's because he's dead doesn't mean that you can't mention his name.
He's going to be either architect or scapegoat, right? I mean, he's going to be...
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty about him. There's a lot of mystery. His mystery shrouds the whole Iran-Contra thing, and I think that there is a lot of unanswered questions that could or could not be traced to Casey.
Our guest is the distinguished United States Senator Hal Heflin. We'll be taking your phone calls for Senator Heflin of Alabama, and then we'll meet retired Major General Richard Secord. Later on in the program, the very funny Martin Short. Tomorrow night, I'll be the MC of the big March of Dimes football banquet in Detroit. Maureen Reagan will host this show tomorrow night, and we'll be back on Thursday. Don't go away.
LaToya Jackson tells us why she decided to do a Playboy spread today on Cernia Live, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on CNN.
Somewhere remember the songs you fell in love with.
Beyond the sea, I left my heart. Chances are
Throughout our lives, there are special songs that capture our feelings and become the memories of a lifetime.
can't get used to losing you. Hold me, never let me go.
Silver Eagle Records brings back those wonderful memories with this exclusive TV offer, Moments to Remember. 45 original hits by the original stars on 4 LPs, 3 cassettes, or 2 compact discs.
Everything is beautiful.
Sorry now, you're giving me fever.
For songs that take you back and recapture those special times, get Moments to Remember on 4 LPs, 3 cassettes, or 2 compact discs. The hits you fell in love with. Here's how to order.
To order, credit card customers call 1-800-225-8400. That's 1-800-225-8400. Or save COD charges and send just $19.95 for 4 albums or 3 cassettes, or $24.95 for 2 compact discs. Plus $4 shipping and handling to Moments, Box 2, Orchard Park, New York.
In a little while, we'll meet retired Major General Richard Secord. Our guest is Senator Hal Heflin of Alabama. We'll take your calls. What did you think of the Secord testimony?
What I think of it? Well, he came on first. He didn't take the Fifth Amendment now, and he really established all of the various elements of the enterprise and the moving of money from the Swiss bank accounts to money management things, raised certain prima facie, but I don't, you know, from it, I tried to keep from jumping to any conclusion as to whether anybody guilty or not guilty. That's for the courts to determine.
The whole question of immunity, we discussed it last night in the case of a murder trial that Joe McGinnis has written about called Blind Faith, in which immunity was granted to someone who pulled the trigger so that they could put in jail someone who paid him to pull the trigger. Immunity is fairly common in American?
No, not common, but it occurs, but it's not very common, very rare.
Why did the government give North immunity?
Well, I think a choice came down as to whether or not you would affect the outcome of the criminal case, and it could well be that, you know, you had to say, well, in the worst scenario, it means that if they were guilty, they might go free. On the other hand, it was the issue of the nation's right to know. And I think that Congress came down on the fact that the nation's right to know outweighed whether or not a guilty person went free if one was guilty.
You agree with that decision?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was such an issue, and we had also the issue of did the president know, and it pretty well cleared the air that the president didn't know. So, I mean, I think vast majority of everybody now concludes that the president didn't know, and so with that in mind, that removed that cloud. So I think the right decision was made pertaining to some. Now, I would not go as to everybody that got immunity, but I think the major people involved in it, that the decision that the people had the right to know outweighed the others.
Do you envy Judge Griselle as a judge? Is this something you'd like to try?
He has got a tough job. He has got a terribly tough job. He's got to protect the rights of the defendant, and he's got to cause a flow of testimony where jurors can understand. And this issue of immunity, I would think in almost every question, they will raise the issue of immunity, saying that he has testified about that, you cannot use that against him. And it's going to be, he's going to have a tough job. He's got to know the law, he's got to know the facts, he's got to know what has been stated in committee. He's a tremendous task that confronts him, as well as, of course, the lawyers on both sides.
Duncan, Oklahoma, for Senator Heflin. Hello.
Yes, good evening, Senator Heflin. You know, we have a couple problems, and I think it's escaped the American public's viewpoint. One, you know, Rudolph Hess and William Calley admitted and said that their superiors authorized them to do certain things, and they were convicted of war crimes. Mr. North is saying that Mr. Reagan knew this, Mr. Reagan knew that. The government, the Army, or the Marine Corps should have court-martialed him for violating all these laws that he broke.
Why was he was never court-martialed, was he?
No, he wasn't court-martialed, and he never did say that that the president told him that. He said he made certain assumptions.
Yeah.
And there's a distinction.
He never was in a
that.
meeting with the president where the president said, do this.
Well, he never said, he said that he largely was saying it by hearsay, I assume the president knew. I mean, that's basically.
Dallas, Texas, hello.
Yes, I'd like to say that the media and Congress still hasn't gotten the message. We, the people, don't give a damn.
About what?
We think that Oliver North did what he did for this country and for the people. We are much more angry at Congress for spending the money on this trial, for wanting a raise, and for not fixing the deficit.
So you agreed with the dealing with Iran?
Agree with what?
Dealing with Iran.
It's not a matter of dealing with Iran.
That's what it's about.
Not really.
Well, ma'am, do you know what this case is about?
Witch hunt is what it's really all about.
Therefore, you agree with dealing with Iran?
Oh, baloney.
Okay, I like it when they're smart. The next caller is from, hello? Well, I don't know what city, Wayne, New Jersey. Go ahead.
I would like to ask Senator Heflin if he thinks that there is not going on here subtle forces at work that, in effect, will produce a pardon without anyone actually pardoning Oliver North. In other words, to prevent this trial from happening. And I say this because several weeks ago, certain charges, I think, of conspiracy were dropped because some of the papers
could not be
declassified. Therefore, some of the charges had to be dropped. Now it turns out, as of this morning's news, that this trial judge is making comments to the effect that about triability. That is, if he cannot get a jury.
Can we form a one-sentence question?
Okay, if he cannot get a jury, is what's happening?
Do you think they're trying to block the trial? Yeah.
Well, you know, there have been those people that charge that that instead of having a pardon, that you relied upon the refusal to produce documents based on that they were national security. But there was a rather high-level committee, the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Defense, other people of substantial notion, plus a staff that has these things, that made the recommendation to the Attorney General in regards to it. Now, there's another issue involved in it that we have to look at, people don't realize, is that if we have released certain classified documents, it gives the intelligence of enemies, I mean, like the Soviet Union and other places, it gives them an insight on where it came from and the procedure by which we acquired it. It in an effect says, if you can sometime on classified information, it can come through as revealing our methods and people that may have given us certain information.
Yeah, but that could
that's a
yeah, but that could then give you a license to do anything.
Well, they're a problem. But there is that, but when you got that as a problem, so I'm not pointing the finger at that. But it does have the appearance, and as I use the word appearance advisedly, and I do it, it has the appearance that the refusal to give, produce the document
looks like a
added to immunity will make a conviction highly unlikely. Now, that's one set of circumstances. You can argue it on another side. But immunity plus the refusal to produce certain documents is going to make it extremely difficult for a conviction to occur. Now, that doesn't mean that they took all precautions. Judge Walsh sealed various evidence before the committee started its hearings. They have done everything to try to prevent the taint of the testimony at the trial in affecting their evidence.
But it's still going to be,
it's going to be difficult, extremely difficult.
Thank you, Hal. Always good seeing you.
Yes, sir.
And hearing your counsel. The wise Senator Hal Heflin of Alabama. We'll be back with retired Major General Richard Secord on Larry King Live. Don't go away.
CNN anchor Mary Alice Williams, named Women in Cable's 1988 Woman of the Year. Stay with CNN, your network of winners.
Are you over 30 and single?
Are you looking for love or companionship?
Call the new Romance Hotline and listen to recorded messages from exciting and sincere singles.
Dial 1-900-909-8000.
Call anytime, 24 hours, and hear recordings of single people looking for romance.
On the Romance Hotline.
For adults over 30 only, please.
Call 1-900-909-8000. $2 for the first minute, 45 cents additional minutes.
And when you call, remember, it's your little secret.
Our next guest is retired Major General Richard Secord. He has charges pending against him. No trial date has been set. And you will remember him, of course. You were the lead-off witness, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Why, usually men under a cloud or facing a trial don't go on programs. Why are you coming forward?
Well, I continue to try to get a few of the facts out. I think that the congressional hearings did not get a lot of the facts out. They spent too much time chasing the money. Didn't get enough into, in my opinion, the real rationale for the Iran initiative, the strategic initiative. And I take every opportunity I can to speak out on this.
Is that an initiative that, on reflection, you would do again?
I've never been in an operation that I would do the same way again. But I've been in a lot of operations in my career, and this one was done for the right reasons, I think, at the right time and with the right people. And I think it's been vindicated already. If you look and see what Rafsanjani and his group in Iran have been able to do to consolidate power in the past 2 years, to end the war, to take a more or less conciliatory posture vis-a-vis the West, I think that it has vindicated that strategic move already.
You're retired now and in the consulting field, so you certainly can comment on your commander-in-chief. Did Reagan cop out on this?
Well, I speak only for myself in this regard. I've been bitter from the outset. I felt that from the outset that loyalty flows two ways, up and down. When I was a commander in the field, I felt that I owed my troops responsibility and loyalty, and vice versa from them. And so my view is that Ed Meese and Company built, the former Attorney General, built a Chinese wall around the president when this covert operation broke into the public, and we were never able to penetrate that wall, and I think that was wrong.
Are you going to testify in this case?
Who knows? If I'm asked to, I
Have you
just
been
don't know.
subpoenaed at all? Have you been?
Oh, no. No.
By either side?
No.
I mean, you could be, of course.
Of course.
They could issue that tomorrow.
That was one of the
How do
key
you
players.
view this trial? Everything's kind of in limbo, waiting on this trial, right? You're in limbo. You don't have a court date, don't know a judge. Everything's sort of hanging pending, right?
Well, all the defendants have been severed for some time, and all the focus is on the Oliver North trial. And so everyone else is just in a holding pattern. And I expect it'll stay that way for some time.
If you believe in the system, you have to say this trial's going to tell us a lot, isn't it? I mean, it's going to give us guilt or innocence, trial by jury, the American way. It's the way to do it. Got charges, confront your chargers, respond.
In some ways, but in another way, it's very bizarre, in my opinion, because the special prosecutor in this case, Lawrence Walsh, nearly a year ago, said, and I'll paraphrase him, that the heart of this so-called case is the so-called diversion of the monies. Those charges have been dropped. So I guess the case has not only been gutted, but it's had its heart cut out as well. Now, I cannot believe that the special prosecutor was so stupid as to not understand the all-pervasive nature of the classified information that's connected with this case. He's been on it, we're going on 3 years now, and has spent $20 million plus. I think that I could argue strongly that we're all pretty well vindicated already, and I expect that North will prevail on these remaining charges.
Now, Senator Heflin says you do draw a unique line here when you deal with information that could benefit the enemy. But on the reverse side, under that concept, one could then be in government and get away with anything and just say, hey, if I reveal it, they're going to learn secrets.
Well, this so-called gray mail issue, it's always a difficult issue, I think, for the government. But they look very carefully at these matters, one piece after another. And this was, after all, a covert operation. It was authorized in writing by the President of the United States. And so that's why I used the word bizarre a minute ago. I think it's a bizarre case, should never have been brought, and I don't think a professional prosecutor would ever have brought it.
But what does a Congress or a country do if a president, Reagan accepted, does something weird, signs off on something weird? I mean, if he gave you a signed order to bomb London, would you bomb London?
Depends on the circumstances, you know.
I've learned of something sinister, bomb London.
Well, no military officer would follow such an
would.
order.
Okay.
Of course not. But I think that's a poor analogy here. This was a very well-reasoned, well-thought-out. If you've read the finding, it made a lot of sense. This covert operation, the Iran Initiative. So it was not weird in any way. It was risky. All covert operations that I've ever been involved in are risky. The probability of success was low.
But Schultz called it weird.
Did he? Not at the time.
Did he ever support it?
I believe he was on both sides of this issue.
Our guest is retired Major General Richard Secord. We'll be taking your phone calls for the General. Later we'll meet Martin Short. This is Larry King Live in Washington. Don't go away.
I know Oliver North. I know he is a patriotic American. It is my personal hope that he is found innocent.
Good morning. It is 24 past the hour. I'm Steve Schatz in Atlanta with a quick news update. The Siberian blast that's locked Alaska in a deep freeze is now banging down the door of the lower 48. The Arctic air barreling down from Siberia is bringing a big chill to the northern part of the U.S. The northern plain states saw the mercury plunge by more than 70 degrees in one day, from balmy record highs to lows. In Cutbank, Montana, the Siberian Express moved in so fast, temperatures dropped 23 degrees in a minute. In North Dakota, blinding snow whipped up by winds gusting up to 100 miles an hour cut visibility to just about zero. All 19 people on board were killed when a military refueling jet crashed Tuesday while trying to take off from Dyess Air Force Base in Texas. The Air Force KC-135 was filled with fuel when it went down in a huge fireball. The wreckage burned for more than an hour after that crash. Passengers included the families of some military members, including one child. One witness says the plane appeared to have engine trouble. Aviation officials are ordering an inspection of more than 700 Boeing aircraft after finding wiring problems in some airliners. The order covers every one of 4 Boeing models built since 1980. The wiring under scrutiny has to do with warning and extinguishing systems for engine and cargo fires. Cross-wiring is suspected as the cause of last month's crash of a Boeing 737 over Scotland. That has not yet been proved. NASA says it will probably have to carry out repair work on the shuttle Discovery that could delay its liftoff indefinitely. Shuttle managers scheduled a late afternoon meeting Wednesday to discuss replacing at least 2 of the shuttle's turbo pumps. A failure in one of the pumps could set off a deadly explosion. The space agency had targeted February 23rd as the launch date. That is a look at the latest news. I'm Steve Schatz at CNN Center in Atlanta.
Joe, this is Phil. Do you have a big brother for me yet? Because there's a game coming up that I wanted him to... Oh, okay. I guess I'll just keep on waiting.
More than 250 kids from single-parent homes are still waiting for a friend like you. Call Big Brothers Big Sisters today, because somewhere a kid's future is on the line.
The reviews are in, and it's 2 thumbs up for Comcast and HBO.
Do you have any idea what's going to happen if this gets out?
Don't worry. We want everyone to know that every month, HBO explodes with action, amazes with adventure, excites with exclusives, and knocks you out with comedy. No one brings you blockbuster movies like Comcast and HBO.
This is CNN, a network of Turner Broadcasting System.
Our guest, retired Major General Richard Secord. I was remiss. I asked Senator Heflin for his thoughts about you. I should certainly ask you for your thoughts about what he had to say. Any comment at all?
Well, I didn't catch everything he had to say, but I thought he gave a pretty fair summation, that part of his address that I just heard. He's a professional lawyer. I'm not, and he was speaking about the technical legal matters of the case. I really can't address that.
We were talking about, during the break, about 32 years of service. You have given 32 years of service. Is there any bitterness?
The only bitterness I have is that which we just talked about. I think that the Commander-in-Chief let not just me, but a number of people down. And where I come from, that's not good. Not only is it not good for the people who are involved, but for the men of the future. You know, who wants to stick their neck out again in the future? It's very difficult. This country has a way of cannibalizing her men, and I think this is a very serious matter, and one not to be taken too lightly.
Like hanging in the wind.
That's been used before, yes.
San Francisco for General Secord. Hello.
Yes, General Secord, sir.
Could you explain why it's all right for you to violate the Neutrality Act of the United States, commit treason against the constitutional order of the United States government, so that you could send money and arms to a terrorist organization that is attacking the Nicaraguan people?
Other than that, you're presuming innocence, but...
Well, that's a pretty absurd question, I think. First of all, no one, even my worst detractors, have never used the word treason. The President of the United States and the United States government were supporting those so-called terrorists, as you call them. They're really the freedom fighters, the Contras. And the other point you made...
Neutrality Act.
Oh, the Neutrality Act. It was no one, not even the special prosecutor, has alleged a violation of the Neutrality Act.
The Bolin Amendment is what they're looking at.
That's right.
Yeah. New York City, hello.
Hi, Larry.
Hi.
I'd like to know, don't you think that President Reagan, after watching the Buckley tapes, was convinced that he just had to do anything to get those hostages out?
Are you asking me or Larry?
All the questions are for you.
Mr. Secord.
Okay. I have no way of knowing what the President felt. I'm sure that he felt, like many of us felt, terrible about Mr. Buckley and the others who were being held prisoner. There was a lot of special compassion, I suppose, for Mr. Buckley, since he apparently was a CIA officer and the enemy knew it. So I'm sure he got some pretty rough treatment. But I'm sure that the President has had special compassion for all of these prisoners. That may have been part of the problem. It's been written about a lot.
Too much compassion.
You can have that, of course.
Gainesville, Florida, for General Secord. Hello.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you for outstanding programming.
Thank you.
General Secord, in my opinion, your testimony was the most complete we heard during the committee hearings. Would you be able to give us a satisfactory explanation now as to what happened to the $30 million that seemed to float around in space?
Well, I don't think that there was ever any money floating around in space. There was a complete accounting of all the money. Tons and tons of documents have been amassed to show where the money went. There's still something on the order of $8 million in frozen accounts. That's all that was left in the enterprise when the U.S. Government froze the funds.
Are you still friendly with Ollie?
Sure. Yeah.
Talk to him?
Well, from time to time, yeah.
Fayetteville, Arkansas, hello.
Yes, Mr. King and General Secord, I was curious as to how could there possibly be an impartial jury in the trial of Oliver North?
Well, I think that Senator Heflin addressed that subject a few minutes ago. If you saw it, I think he did a pretty good job on that subject. In my personal opinion, that you couldn't get a jury that hasn't heard of it at all. If you did get a jury that hadn't heard of it, they'd have to be illiterate.
This is going to be an awful tough time picking a coherent, as Heflin said, they're going to have to be some very busy people.
Well, I'm not going to try to add to what Senator Heflin said. I think he addressed it adequately.
Phoenix, Arizona, for General Secord. Hello.
Hello, General Secord. We're trying you and Oliver North in regards to your dealings with Iran. And I was just curious as to your feelings with President Bush's statement in his inaugural address regarding opening diplomatic ties with that country again.
I think that's a continuation of the Iran Initiative, what was envisioned by the Iran Initiative. If you read the finding that was signed by President Reagan in January of 1986, you will see that that was envisioned. That initiative, what that initiative was all about was trying to gain and maintain contact with the newly emerging powers inside Iran. And that group was properly identified.
General, how do you think it's going to come out?
Well, if there's any justice, of course, I'm a little bit biased, but if there's any justice at all, North will prevail on this thing. I think that, as I said earlier, no professional prosecutor would have brought this case. I think that the Congress went into this thing from A to Z. They are still putting out documents. I've never seen so many documents on one case. I think it was investigated adequately. It is a political matter in my judgment. And to criminalize this, even Arthur Lyman, the distinguished counsel for the Senate Select Committee, said that he didn't agree with trying to criminalize this thing. So I just think it's a political matter, and I think that North is caught in a political bind. I hope that he prevails quickly.
Do you think you will not stand trial?
I have no idea.
How do you go on, though, when something hangs over you like this? Personally?
With great trepidation and with a lot of burden and with a lot of agony. and not to speak of the financial burdens for lawyers.
Yeah, legal fees, what is
the lawyers can eat money faster than the piranha can eat a cow, and it is you know, just tremendously burdensome. Unbelievable.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Our guest is retired Major General Richard Secord, United States Air Force. We'll be back with Martin Short. He's a hit in the new comedy hit Three Fugitives, right after this.
Coming up, Crime in the Name of Comedy with Martin Short.
Here it comes, the Slammin', Jammin', Rip-Roarin' Good Time Video, the NBA's dazzling dunks and basketball bloopers. It's all new fun and excitement, and the only way to get it is free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. See your heroes fly through the air with the greatest of ease and land just about anywhere they please. See them jump and jam, slip, slide, and slam. See them dance and dive as they try to keep it alive. For 45 minutes of all the right stuff, they'll give it a whirl and give it a heave. And if you hang around long enough, you'll see things you won't believe. Of course, sometimes they miss, and often they fall. But we'll let you be the judge of who's the greatest of all. You'll get lots of laughs and quite a bit more as all your favorites take the floor. Believe me, you can look high and low, but you won't find a more fantastic show. So call this toll-free number now to get the sensational video that reaches new heights in entertainment. The NBA's dazzling dunks and basketball bloopers, free from Sports Illustrated. And by calling now, not only will you get all the thrills and spills of your free video, you won't miss out on the exciting 25th anniversary edition of the famous swimsuit issue, featuring a bright and sunny look at the smiles and suits of the past 25 years in an issue devoted entirely to swimwear. Then the Boys of Summer swing along in SI's big baseball preview issue. You'll get all that and save almost 50% off the cover price. 25 issues payable in 3 monthly installments of only $9.89 each. And you can charge it if you want. Take advantage of the savings. Don't let anyone get the jump on you. Get it all first. The NBA's dazzling dunks and basketball bloopers, the anniversary edition of the swimsuit issue, the big baseball preview, and enjoy all the great color and excitement of Sports Illustrated every week by calling this toll-free number now. 1-800-762-3999. 1-800-762-3999. The video is rated F for free.
At 1/2 every hour throughout the business day, CNN's Business News keeps you on top of current trading information from Wall Street.
You possibly, and it would be a great compliment, know him as Ed Grimley from SCTV and Saturday Night Live, but he is Martin Short. The award-winning comedian, Mr. Short, stars with Nick Nolte in the new comedy film Three Fugitives from Touchstone. The picture is, what, the #1 box office in America right now?
Yes, it's #1 per screen average, yes.
Now, this concept
whatever that means.
Per screen average, was that dollar paid through per ticket?
No, I think it means that Rain Man is in more theaters than we are, but we've made more money if we'd been in that many theaters. I don't know what it means. We're doing well. There's work ahead, I think.
Yes.
Is what it means.
Did you like this script immediately?
Yes, it's a wonderful script. It's like this kind of dream role where you get to do this remarkable range of physical comedy, as well as playing a real person with sincere emotions, coping with the possible eviction of he and his daughter from their home, a desperate man who's
out to rob a bank.
Yeah.
Confronting a former bank robber who's trying to go straight, right? That's not a classically new idea.
Ah, but the way it's performed, Larry. No, Nolte is actually, no, it's an unusual idea in that Nolte is a guy who has been released from prison that day and is determined to go straight, a well-known bank robber. I burst into the bank, desperate, very incompetent, and must take a hostage and end up taking Nolte, and the police assume that Nolte's taking me hostage.
Okay, now it's a cute twist. I'm sure that kind of thing has been done. But now, I told you before, I have not seen the film, but watching the coming attractions, this play's hysterical. The coming attractions didn't concentrate a lot on the daughter concept. It concentrated a lot on your escape from the bank.
probably on the more physical comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The daughter is a very sincere, sweet heart of the film.
Let us watch a quick clip of the holdup. This is in progress. Your holdup, right?
Yes, sir.
And Nolte is in the bank.
Nolte is in the bank.
This is from Three Fugitives.
Everybody, hands up! Hands up! Stick them up! This is a holdup! I said stick them up! You see this? Do you know what this is? It's a grenade! And I'm pulling the pin, so no funny business.
How long did it take to shoot that scene? That's funny.
That was about 3 days in the bank, the whole bank stuff. We got very lucky with the ripping. You know, sometimes things just happen luckily. You know, there was a guy behind, I had the nylon, and there was a guy behind me off camera who had a vise, and when I would hold up the grenade, he'd rip the vise, you know. But whether it was going to rip right or not, but in that take, which was the first take, it ripped in a way that my ear popped out like it was a little, like a little rubber blow. People keep saying, boy, how'd they get that fake ear in there? And unfortunately, it is my ear.
What about working with Nolte? One critic said he must be considered preeminent now among American film actors.
Oh, well, Nick is great, yeah. Nick, it's all about the work. Oh, come on, Marty, we're actors. Let's get out there. You know, one of the scenes, it's a very physical movie, and one of the scenes, we were doing it again and again, and he had to drag me into this police station, and I was kind of, you know, a little weathered, and the director, who was French, Francis Weber, would say, we do it again? Yes? No? What? And I'd say, sure, let's do it. And then I'd look at Nick, and he'd say, oh, don't worry, Marty. We're just playing football here. And he'd pull me in again. He's an amazingly consistent, you know, it's all about the character and the truth of the character. He's a remarkable person to work with.
Are you a comedian who acts, Martin, or are you an actor who likes comedy?
I guess I'm an actor who does comedy. Or anything you have.
You're open and available.
I'll sing, sure.
The imitation. Are you going to sing for us? Sing. I don't care, Marty. It's I don't care.
All right, I'll do Bobby Short, just for you.
Bobby Short? No one does Bobby Short.
Down there, why? And that's why. A vibrato in search of a voice.
Were you an imitative kid? Were you the kind of kid who did imitations of the teacher?
Yes, always. Always. I was as good as gold if the teacher was strict. And if the teacher was weak, then I would make fun of her. Because I always felt to be thrown into the principal's office, you know, have your parents' phone was massive failure. I mean, I didn't want that to happen. But I would always get the sound of the teacher's voice or whatever it was, and you can get big laughs behind their back. Again, if they're weak.
David Letterman was on my radio show last night, and someone called in and asked him his favorite comedic concept or thing or person, and he said SCTV is still the funniest thing produced on television. What was special about that?
I guess it was because the cast, who were also writers, who were also wonderful writers as well, but the cast wrote their material and pre- and post-produced their material. They were involved in the running order decisions and in the casting decisions. After every take, we'd run over to a monitor and we'd look at the monitor and we'd say, what do you think is wrong? And I think that it was the first time that a cast had that much creative involvement in their show. So it meant so much to us. And in Hollywood, they call it the inmates running the asylum. And,
yeah, but almost nothing missed on that show. I mean,
yeah,
for consistency hitting when you're doing satire, which is 50% is considered a good outing.
Yeah, I agree. I was very proud of that show. It was a remarkable show, and it was the best creative experience anyone could have ever had.
We're going to take a break, come back and take some calls, but we cannot do this without you're doing Katie Hepburn, since you do the best Katie Hepburn.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say that. Is it, Larry? I was not told your first name. Tremendous fan of yours. And I think it's wonderful that you're having Martin Short.
He's wonderful. You like Martin Short, Katie?
Yes, I do. I think he's very talented, although limited. But that's me. I'm sure there are others who disagree with half of them.
Our guest is Martin Short with
Sure is.
Nick Nolte in Touchstones.
I work with him.
3 Fugitives. The
That's
highest
good. I hear
per
it.
capita ticket in it's doing very well. They won't need a benefit for this one. We'll be back with your calls after this.
15 before the hour, I'm Steve Schatz with a look at some of the stories in the headlines this morning. Lawyers for Oliver North are requesting that when a jury is finally chosen, it should be kept isolated during the entire trial. That could take 5 months. North faces a dozen felony counts in connection with the Iran-Contra affair. The process of finding potential jurors who haven't seen North's congressional testimony resumes on Wednesday. 7 people were chosen Tuesday for the final jury pool. U.S. District Judge Gerhard Gesell dismissed anyone who could recall reading or hearing about North's testimony before Congress last year. Senate confirmation hearings for Defense Secretary nominee John Tower are taking longer than expected. The Senate panel grilling Tower scheduled a second closed session Wednesday to deal with allegations of drinking and womanizing and conflict of interest. Conservative activist Paul Weyrich told the panel Tuesday that he had seen the former senator drunk and with women other than his wife on several occasions, but panel members say most of Weyrich's testimony was based on hearsay. The White House is asking for a rare delay in the confirmation hearings for Louis Sullivan as Secretary of Health and Human Services. The Bush administration says more work needs to be done on Sullivan's background check, and the delay has nothing to do with the flap over his views on abortion. In other confirmation proceedings on Tuesday, the Senate unanimously approved the nomination of Robert Mosbacher as Commerce Secretary, Samuel Skinner as Transportation Secretary, and Carla Hills as U.S. Trade Representative. Vice President Dan Quayle leaves Wednesday on the first diplomatic trip of the Bush administration. Quayle is embarking on a 3-day goodwill tour of Latin America. Administration officials say the vice president probably won't deal with any pressing issues like foreign debt or the civil war in Nicaragua. They say that he'll be in more of a listening mode than a lecturing mode when he meets with those foreign leaders. Those are some of the stories we're following this morning. I'm Steve Schatz in Atlanta.
Maureen Reagan will be guest host tomorrow night of Larry King Live. We'll be back on Thursday. Police brutality will be the topic. Our guest is Martin Short. The film is 3 Fugitives. The caller is from Oak Park, Michigan. Hello.
Yes, actually my question is not for Martin. It's for his friend Ed Grimley, if I may. I'd like to know what he thinks of the fact that his idol, Pat Sajak, has left Wheel of Fortune to host his own talk show.
Only daytime. But what do you think, Ed?
It's as sad can be, you know. You could see my black armband, but unfortunately I'm wearing black. Although he is on at daytime, so then that's good news. So what's the point?
No, he's on at nighttime.
That also.
Modesto, California, for Martin Short. Hello.
Hi, my name is Candy Costi Burke, and I'm a 1984 Olympic gold medalist in synchronized swimming. And you know who I am.
Yes, I do, and I think you're marvelous.
I just wanted to tell you, I thought it was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. I loved it, but I wanted to know who thought of it, and if...
what is the it we're talking about?
If you thought of the spoof, what they did on Saturday Night Live, they did a spoof on my sport, and my partner, Tracy Ruiz, and I. We were the 1984 Olympic medalists, and they did a spoof on us. I wanted to know if Martin Short was playing me.
I feel like I've been caught by that teacher.
Okay, she's on the phone, Martin, and it's really her. Our ACE staff has certified it is her.
Delighted to talk with you. The idea, I believe, was Harry Shearer's. And Harry Shearer and I played 2 male synchronized swimmers who had given up our lives to shoot for the gold in this century. We weren't narrowing it down to which 4 years. Christopher Guest played our instructor, and it was a successful piece we did on Saturday Night Live.
She wants to know if you were doing her.
Goofy one.
No, not at all. I was doing the other goofy one.
Okay.
I wasn't doing you.
What has happened to you since this gold medal?
Well, since the gold medal, I started a company with my husband, who is a silver medalist in water polo, Doug Burke, and now we make bread. Can you believe it? We make bread.
You physically make bread.
Pardon?
You make bread.
We make oatmeal breads, whole grain breads.
Do you and your partner knead it simultaneously? Does that end?
We let her in on this thing, but she went to the '88 Olympics and got a silver medal there, and she's also married. But I am 8 months pregnant, so I would love to see you do a spoof on that. The way I feel now, it's even funnier.
Well, thanks very much for calling, Martin. This film, what will obviously going to be this will be the major film thus far in your career, right?
Yes, I guess it will, money-wise, yes.
What next?
I'm going to do a special for HBO. I love television. I think television is a remarkable medium for comedy. And so I like to do both things very actively. I have an animated television show on Saturday mornings, Completely Mental Misadventures of Ed Grimley. And I'm going to do a special for HBO called I'm Martin Short Goes to Hollywood. I'm going to do, and it's been written, and that's what I'm going to do next.
Do you expect to see a lot of film scripts?
It would be nice. It would be a shame if it was just all over. Then I was like touring in How to Succeed.
Yeah. Phoenix.
In La Jolla.
Hello, Phoenix from Martin Short.
Hi there. Marty, saw the movie over the weekend. Absolutely hysterical. Couldn't believe it. Wondered about the physical comedy between you and Nick Nolte. He was jerking you all over the screen. Did it really happen that way, or were you acting, or what was going on there?
No, I can't act. I thought you knew that. No, I'll tell you what it is. Truthfully, the physical comedy is interesting because you can't see the seam, or mustn't. And so it's really like a ballet. You choreograph everything, and then that's what you do in rehearsal, and then the heat of the take, you get whacked in the head. But then they have it, and you move on. Little ice, swelling goes down.
No, so in other words, when we see him grab you and tug you and pull you, are you saying that you are not feeling the grabbing and pulling and tugging?
You are, but but you're not feeling as intensely as it might look. There was one take when we pulled up in front of the police station and we ran out, and Nick grabbed me and I fell, and the director didn't know whether to cut it because he just continued to pull me into the police station, and I was being, kind of watching through my buttonhole to make sure my head didn't hit the curb. And see, you're aware that this like kind of magical take is happening, so you take the risk. I think you instinctively know how to fall too.
Marty, I thank you very much for this. I can't wait to see it, and I wish you every success.
Thank you, Larry.
Deserving your terrific talent.
Thank you.
Martin Short, you'll see him with Nick Nolte in the new comedy hit, Three Fugitives from Touchstone, which everything they touch turns to solid rock kind of stone. Their company will not need a benefit. Closing word after this.
Don't look anyone in the eye on the street.
Why not?
There's a rule. When you're on the lam, you don't want to be noticed, so you keep your head down, your eyes on the ground.
They had all the...
Hey, you all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
You better watch where you're going, buddy.
Yes.
LaToya Jackson tells us why she decided to do a Playboy spread today on Cernia Live, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on CNN.
If you've ever wanted to start your own business, get a paper and pencil ready.
Admit it. You dreamed of being your own boss in your own business. Most people have. But where are you going to find the vital information to help you explore the opportunities that can lead to your success? Right here, in Entrepreneur Magazine. Entrepreneur Magazine gives you up-to-the-minute reports on solid businesses, new ventures, and what it takes to succeed. You'll learn the do's and don'ts of a business before you invest your hard-earned cash. In each informative issue, you'll discover the secrets, techniques, and million-dollar ideas that have provided people just like you the security and freedom of owning their own business. These successful people are no different than you, except for one thing: they got started. If you're serious about your future and want the satisfaction of owning your own business, then you should subscribe to Entrepreneur Magazine. A full year of Entrepreneur Magazine is yours for the base price of only $19.97. That's over 45% off the newsstand price. You also get the Be Your Own Boss catalog, 227 ways to succeed in a business of your own. Entrepreneur subscribers enjoy many benefits, discounts, and free access to expert business counselors. And if you order now, you'll receive this valuable bonus: how to obtain money for your business, methods of financing your new venture. You get all this for only $19.97. So stop just dreaming about starting your own business. Call now and let Entrepreneur Magazine help make your dreams come true.
We're waiting for your call now, so have your credit card ready and call us toll-free at 1-800-821-2109. Pay by credit card and you'll get an extra issue making 13 in all of Entrepreneur Magazine, the Be Your Own Boss catalog, the special subscriber-only discounts, and access to our business counselors. Plus, how to obtain money for your business, all for only $19.97. Order America's only Entrepreneur Magazine. Call 1-800-821-2109 right now.
Thanks very much for joining us on this edition of Larry King Live, in which we kind of ran the gambit with Senator Heflin and Richard Secord and Martin Short. Tomorrow night we'll be in Detroit, Michigan. The occasion is the annual March of Dimes Football Awards banquet. Lou Holtz, the head coach of Notre Dame, is going to be honored, and Steve Walsh, the University of Miami quarterback. And I have been asked to be the MC of that event. And so Maureen Reagan will make her guest hosting debut on this program. She will host Larry King Live tomorrow night, and she's going to talk about police brutality. Is it a wave or just isolated incidents? And she'll also meet Cheryl Crane. We'll be back on Thursday night with Ann Gillian. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Larry King Overnight, which is a repeat of Larry King Live, which airs at 9 p.m. each evening. Thanks for joining us, and good morning.
Hi, I'm Bob Vila. You may have seen my home improvement program on TV. I dropped by to see how my friend John here is doing. Since he bought this house, he's wanted to make improvements. The kitchen's a great place to start because it's where you can add real beauty, convenience, and value. You know, there's nothing as satisfying as doing a job right the first time. And here's something that'll really help. It's the Home Repair and Improvement series from Time Life Books. It sure helped John. He's already installed modern countertops, put in a stainless sink, and single control faucet and sprayer. He's added the backsplash, now he's caulking. Beautiful, perfect job. This first book, Kitchens and Bathrooms, will guide you step by step to impressive improvements like this. See here on page 44, it tells you all you need to know to make and install a backsplash. And up in the bathroom, Kitchens and Bathrooms has lots of ideas for you. Look at this great tiling and grouting job. Nice work, John.
Thanks, Bob. I'm really pleased.
John doesn't want to have to do this job again soon, so he's following a tip here on page 27. He's protecting grout from dirt and mildew by applying a sealant using a small brush. Tips like that and proven professional techniques are why Time Life Books are so unique. With easy-to-follow directions and drawings, it's like having a pro working along with you. Your home is your biggest single investment. These books will help you improve and protect it. Call now for your first book, Kitchens and Bathrooms, for a free 15-day examination. You'll receive this 12-foot tape measure free with your purchase. Then about every other month, you'll receive another idea-packed volume, such as new living spaces, adding on, and weatherproofing. Keep only those you want. Cancel anytime. Home Repair and Improvement from Time Life Books. It's like having a pro working right along with you.
To examine kitchens and bathrooms for 15 days, just call 1-800-257-1257. Keep it and pay just $10.99 plus shipping and handling. With your purchase, you'll receive the Stanley tape measure as a free gift. So call 1-800-257-1257. That's 1-800-257-1257.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen McGinnis at the CNN Center in Atlanta. Coming up for Wednesday afternoon, quite a variance in the temperatures from double-digit sub-zero readings to temperatures in the 80s across Texas. We're looking at the northwest. Things cool down here. You could see some blizzard-like weather conditions across the northern tier states, the northern Rockies. And later on, you're looking at those temperatures taking a huge drop across the central Great Plains, around the Great Lakes, and the northeast later on in the week. We did see some record highs across the southeast, and for tomorrow afternoon, still going to be
On a middle ground where people would listen to me, because when it boils down after everything's done is every woman is like a housewife to me. I don't care if you're, what's her name, President of Pakistan there or whatever.
Mrs.
What's
Bhutto.
his name? Yeah.
You think Mrs. Bhutto comes home and has to wash the dishes?
Yeah.
She has to take care of the baby, probably.
Of course she does.
Yeah.
You know, well, let's talk about that. You know, that's what I want to talk about, that. I don't want to talk about that she's president. I don't care. She still does the dishes, and you know it, and I know it, and so does, what's her name? Well, Thatcher, she probably has slaves, but I mean, every woman does it, and everybody knows it. And people would go, well, why don't you talk about more universal things? And I go, but what am I going to talk about? When I went to Vietnam, what am I going to talk about? I clean everything, and everything's my fault.
You talked about when you lost 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll talk about how I gained it back.
Why did you gain it back?
I like being fat.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Why do you like being fat?
Well, there's just been times in my life where I've liked being fat, and there are other times in my life where I've liked being thin. And I don't think that your weight makes you happy or unhappy. I think it's all the other stuff. But sometimes I think it's the greatest thing any woman can do is to be fat, and the sexiest thing any woman could do is to be as fat as me or fatter. And sometimes I want to be thin, and it just happens.
Roseanne, I read, and you read too, that you're unhappy with the show, that you're difficult, that you're demanding. I mean, you know, I looked through all the clippings.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, which part?
Are you unhappy with the show? Is it not what you want to be?
The show is getting to where I want it to be more and more. I wanted to do a show that was about real people, that wasn't about, honey, bathroom bowl needs cleaning. You know, I wanted to do a show that was like just the joy and the horror of like life and being in a family and living with somebody for a long time. And people don't solve problems in 22 minutes. People ain't like, women don't listen to their husbands and children. You're not that interested. You're working. It's like, yeah, whatever. You get it, leave me alone, you know?
So if it's funny, that's okay with you, and if it wasn't funny, that was okay with you, as long as it was true?
Yeah.
On the show, there's a very close relationship with your sister. Does that come from real life?
Yeah, that comes from real life with my sister. My sister, when they moved out from Utah, both my sisters, but mostly my sister Geraldine, she and I are like incredibly close. You know, my husband helped me write the jokes, and my sister helped me write it too. But when I went to the club to do it, and nobody would listen, or people were like freaking out, and they really did freak out. My sister would, like, there'd be pockets of people who were laughing, and my sister would go, you know, she'd be in the audience, and she'd go and stand behind the people who were laughing.
Why?
So that I could see them.
And feel good.
And be able to do it.
Roseanne, it's the first time, you know, people say that I make people cry.
Oh, I'm not going to cry.
I'm asking you about your sister.
I'm tearing up, and I'm not.
Because you love her that much. That's
yeah, I
nice.
do love my sister very much. God, I hate myself for doing this, but she really helped me all through my life.
Why do you hate yourself for doing this? That's okay. You can laugh, and you can do this too.
Maybe if I pick my nose, you'll pull the cameras off me.
That's right.
But no, I really love my sister, and I'm glad she's here with me.
Now, when the money's coming in, when you're living in these pretty surroundings, do you ever think of what it was like, what, 5, 6 years ago?
You mean before I got, like, rich and famous?
Before you got rich and famous and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think about it all the time. I think about it all the time. I think about it when people come to clean my house. I remember when I used to go clean their house. I remember it. I always try to remain, because I can't really change into nothing else. I'll always be a working class person.
Did you ever go back to that hospital?
I went back to the state hospital, like, after I'd been on Carson once. And I was going, I can't believe that I ever lived here and that I ever got out. Because all the other kids my age that were there are all dead. And most of them were there for drugs. Like I said, it was the 60s. And a lot of them killed themselves there. But when we were going down, I saw this nurse, and she had these 2 people with her, you know? And so I did this for myself. I did this for myself. But I just pulled up alongside him, and I go, I go, I used to be in here 15 years ago. And you know, then I go, you know, and now I make over $1 million a year. And all of them turned and just go. Then the nurse goes, what? And I go, I'm not talking to you.
Maybe it sunk in with one of them. Maybe one kid felt, hey, I'll be okay too. If she is, I will be too.
Yeah, and I am okay.
A mountain the size of Everest. You've already made your most critical decisions. What to bring with you.
When 1,000 doctors were asked if they were stranded in a place like this, which one of these medicines would they want along? Doctors chose Bayer more than all these combined.
I chose Bayer. Shouldn't you?
Bayer, the wonder drug that works wonders. Also in coated caplets.
I'm a pushover for a pretty panty, but I'm a fanatic about a comfortable fit.
My way is Hanes Her Way.
Hanes Her Way cotton panties. Come see how pretty cotton can feel.
My way is Hanes Her Way.
Some girls look at the shoes. Some girls look at the news. Some girls go for the taste. Some girls work on the waist. First girls look in the first ball fashion. Keep in touch with the best in life. First girls look in the first. First girls.
Premiere issue, only 25 cents.
Tom Selleck, Paulina Poriskova. She was accused of murder. But the moment he saw her, he knew she was innocent.
Don't pull it up!
It's coming, it's coming.
He became her alibi.
I don't know what comes next.
Tom Selleck is her alibi. Rated PG. Starts Friday, February 3rd at a theater near you.
There are bras that fit and bras that flatter. I'll settle for both.
My way is Hanes Her Way.
Hanes Her Way satin and lace bras. Come feel how good a pretty bra can fit.
My way is Hanes Her Way.
Jeff Jarvis of People magazine says, I'll take Columbo over Perry Mason or Murder, She Wrote any day.
I would make some wonderful detective.
I'm glad he's back. Peter Falk returns as Columbo this week on the Monday Mystery Movie.
Friday. Trouble remembering names, numbers? Could it mean early memory loss or worse? Find out when Hugh Downs gives an important test you can take at home. 2020, Friday.
I guess the first thing you ought to know about Tom Hanks is that he is first and foremost a jock. Was that good?
Well, if it made it over the tree, it's good. If it hit the tree and fell down in the creek,
We'll
it's
never
bad.
know.
We'll find out when we get there. Now,
I have been warned that Hanks was tough to get to know. Buttoned up, they said. So I asked if we could hang out with him for a while and see how he spends his time.